Shall we start?
Yes, Prabhuji, we can start by prayer.
Yes.
I have muted.
Who will take the prayer first? Hare Krishna to everyone. Veshant Prabhuji, can you take the prayer?
Yes, Prabhuji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnana Mirandasya Yana Yana Salakaya Kaksham Nitam Yana Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestya Bhutale Srimakte Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Sasri Devi Gauravani Prakarine निर्वशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चा देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण प्रभु जी.
Hare Krishna Veshant Prabhuji. Very good. Your tone is also very good. You do good, very good prayer. Now, who will read this Kirtan? There are 1, 2, 3, 4 things. I want everyone to read one by one. Yes, Suvit Krishna
Can I read?
Prabhuji. Yeah, you can read.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
You read the first one, Suvit Krishna Prabhuji.
Namo Om Vishnupadyaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimaste Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine.
Very good. Now next, who will read?
Can I read, Prabhuji?
Please. Yes, Yogesh Prabhuji, can you read?
नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्यता देशतारिणे. हरे कृष्ण.
Hare Krishna. Now next, who will read? Yes, Vedanta Challa Prabhuji. I have unmuted you.
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंदा. हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Now the last one is very easy for everyone. Who will read this? Yes, Vihan Prabhuji. You can read it. I have unmuted you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Okay. Again, next, who will read the last mantra? Yes, you can read. Who has raised the hand? I want the new one.
Keshav Sai Hotkar Prabhuji. Shall we unmute?
Please, yes, please read it.
Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Very good. Come on, now let's start. It's already 6:35. So the first 5 minutes we normally chant. So now, are you familiar with this? Everyone in this picture? Who is this? You can reply in chat box also. Very good. Then who is this? Very good. Now, what is here? Can all of you see this? What is here? Yes, Kapi Dhwaja. Right answer. Yes. Now all these are the 4 divine horses which the Lord Krishna is riding with the chariot, and the Arjun is inside that, and the Kapi Dhwaja above that. You know, there are 9 reasons for the Arjun's victory we learned in the first class. Out of that 9 reasons, Kapi Dhwaja was one of them. How many of you remember that? Just raise your hands. I can see that how many has raised the hands. Yes, very good. Come on, let's move. So today it will be the chapter 3 of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, and the chapter 3 is called the Karma Yoga. That is the yoga of action. Action means karma. Karma means what we are doing. That is called a karma. Karma is a Sanskrit word, and in day-to-day familiar life is what we actually do. That is the karma. But here we'll learn the special meaning of the karma, that is what to do as in our life. You know what all these people are doing? In the first picture, you will see he is in the deep meditation and he is just chanting the mantra. Here also, there is a guru and a shishya, and he is handing over that japa mala to his shishya to chant the mantra. Here also, you can see in the father and the son. In father's hand also there is a japa mala. In this, another saint is also following that person. There is a japa mala in his hand. So you can see all of them are chanting the mantra with the japa mala. Here also in this picture also you can see the japa mala in his hand. Here also it is slightly good. Yeah, you can see that japa mala in his hand, and he is also japping the mantra. So what is the importance of japa, mantra japa? We will see later in this chapter. First, let us look at what we have done in the last class, that is the second class. I will go to the next slide, but I will want answer of all this from all of you, because the next slide is the answer slide. So what are the 3 stages of understanding God? Just reply in the chat box. In the last class, we have covered these 3 important questions. What are the 3 stages? Yes, Brahman, Paramatma, and what is the last one? Bhagwan, yes. Arun has replied first, I think all the 3 correct. Then Shavani, then should. Yes, now everyone is giving the right answer. Now this will be the little bit tough. What are the 6 opulences of Krishna? What are the 6 opulences? That is the 6 characteristics, 6 important features of the Krishna, Lord Krishna. Please reply this also. Please type all together at a time, not one by one, so that I can understand that who has replied all 6 in one time. Still I'm missing. Right, yeah. I think Vihan, kind, no, kind is not there. Yes, I think someone has replied with a fame. Yes, I got the right answer. Yeah, I think Divyanka Kundu Prabhuji has given the now right answer. So, the 6 characteristics of the Lord Krishna were beauty, then fame, then strength, then knowledge, and then wealth and the renunciation. And the renunciation was the most important of the 6 qualities of the Lord Krishna. Good, very good. So I think this is a very simple question. Are we this body? If not, then what? And if yes, then what? No, we are soul. Yes, yes. This is a very simple question. Everyone is giving the answer. Yes. So very good. So you have done all of your very good homework. Congratulations to everyone. I'm very much impressed by all of your performance. Very good. Keep it up. Some background noise is coming. Chetan Prabhuji?
Prabhuji, it is not from my side. I will see, sir. I will check.
So here are the answers. But all of you have given the right answers. So the 3 stages of the God realization is first one is the Brahman. When you enter into the deep meditation, you can see the very bright light inside you and which gives you very strength, energy and power also. And the second realization of the God itself is the when you go deeper and deeper into your meditation with this bright light, then you can see the 4 hands avatar of the Lord Krishna, which is we call it a Paramatma. And again, if you go deeper and deeper into our own meditation, and this is the 3rd stage, that is the highest stage, we can see the human form of the God. So these are the 6 important characteristics of the Lord Krishna, that is the Bhagwan. The first is beauty. As I told you yesterday, he was very beautiful from his face, very charming face, very loving face, very smiling face. He was rich, of course. He was the king also of Dwarka. That is why he also called the Dwarkadish. He was famous, definitely, no doubt. Everybody knew the Krishna, everybody loved Krishna, everybody worshipped Krishna. So he was very famous. And he, of course, he has all the strength of this world. So he was very powerful also, because he himself runs the entire this universe. And of course, when a person like this has all the knowledge of this universe, he has in fact all the knowledge, and all the knowledge arises from him only. All the knowledge is imparted from him only. And that is why he imparted the true knowledge, right knowledge, actual knowledge to the Arjuna. And above all these qualities, the most important quality was the renunciation. That means tyag, that means give up. That means he has given up all the desires and everything. In spite of having, he has all the things. So these are the 6 important things of the Lord Krishna. You can understand later in this our Bhagavad Gita classes as what is the importance of the renunciation. If one has the power and the capability of the renunciation to give up everything in the life, to give up all desires, to give up all motives, to give up everything, then what he can achieve? He can achieve the highest state of the bhakti. He can achieve the highest state of the what we call it spiritual world. We can learn later on in the later chapters also that is the renunciation is one of the most important characteristics. Now, is our vision perfect? How can we see the God with these eyes? Can we see the God with our normal eyes? No, of course not. Because in the previous class also what we have learned that actually it is a soul. That is the ultimate truth. That is the ultimate God actually. And it is the 1 by 1, 10,000 part of the tip of the hair. So how can we see that? Even under the microscope also we cannot see the soul. Then how can we, with our naked eyes, we can see the soul? But definitely we can realize the God. That is how we have seen in the earlier slide that how can we realize the God? We cannot see actually, but we can see from our inner eyes. We can realize from inside our heart actually. When we go into the deep meditation, we can achieve all that different levels of the meditation. There are also the different levels of the meditation. When we reach at the one by one higher level, then we can realize the God within our heart only, and we can see the entire picture of the God within our heart only. That is why it is called that the spiritual eyes we have got it after that, when we reach that level of the spiritualization. So once we reach that level, we can see the friendly face of the Lord Krishna within inside our heart only. And we can play with them also. He can also play with us also. We can talk to them. But just as because our eyes are covered with so many things, we cannot see the Lord Krishna. Even we cannot achieve that highest level of the spirituality, so that we can attain him and we can see him and we can play with him. Because we are not pure at our heart also. Just like this is a rotten apple actually. This is not a good quality apple. You can see over here. Similarly, our heart is also not that pure, that because it is full of sometimes anger, sometimes desire, sometimes more emotions. That is why we cannot see the Lord. Now who will read this sloka number 9 of the 3rd chapter? Wow, I want something new face. Who is Spurti? Please unmute Spurti. Okay, Spurti, I have unmuted you. You can read the sloka. Spurti Mata, please.
यजनराथा कर्मणा नयत्र लोको याम कर्म बंधनदा तद अर्थम कर्म कौन्तेय मुक्त संघ समाचकारा. Translation: work is to be done as a sacrifice for Vishnu, then there will be no bondage.
Yes,
Thank you,
very much
Prabhuji.
correct. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Mataji. Now, work is to be done as a sacrifice for Vishnu. Then there will be no bondage. There are some key words into this entire slok, and this slok is one of the most important slok of the Bhagavad Gita. That means we have to perform the work. That is why this chapter 3 is called the Karma Yoga. I'm going slowly, gradually in this chapter because this is very important chapter. If we understand this chapter, then only we'll be able to actually understand the meaning of the karma that is in chapter 4 and then subsequent chapters. So please take a note of that, and this chapter is very, very important. Work. That means work is to be done as a sacrifice for Vishnu. So whatever work we do and whatever work we perform in our day-to-day life, routine life, or whatever it is, it has to be done as a sacrifice for the Vishnu. That means it should be dedicated to the Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu. Why? Because then there will be no bondage. What is bondage? You being a child may not understand the true meaning of the bondage, but I'm trying to explaining you, all of you, in a very simple words. You know what is bondage? Bondage means, suppose let us take the example of a jail. If someone has done a wrong deed, and then the police comes and arrest him and keep him in the jail. So this is a simple meaning of the bondage. Similarly, we are also facing in this life, as we are passing through the bondage actually. Why it is a bond? Our life itself is a bondage, because our life passes from death and birth and death, birth and death, birth and death. We have to take several births in this world, and that is why we are in bondage. Let me explain the bondage in some simple words to you. When we take the birth, there is a celebration in the family, but is it a celebration for the child also? Because the child has come out of the womb of the mother, he or she, that newly born baby, is a crying. So it is not a happy moment for him. It may be the happy moment for the family, but it is not a happy moment. Otherwise, why should that particular child is crying? That particular child is crying at the time of the birth. So now gradually again, let us grow and become a little bit kid, like say 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year or 5 year. We become the kid before we go to the school. So being a kid also, so many work we have to perform. We have to learn how to walk. We have to learn how to eat. We have to learn how to wear a clothes also. We have to learn so many things. We have to learn how to sit also. We have to learn how to play also in these 4 or 5 years. So don't you think it is also a bondage for us also? Because we have to learn so many things. We may get enjoyment, we may not get enjoyment. Suppose somebody tells you, okay, someday parents tell you that, okay, you have to sit over here for 1 hour, but you want to do something else. So you are not getting enjoyment. Suppose if you are getting a toy of your wish or something like that, then you get the enjoyment. So this is also like that. Now after 5 years, you have to study hard. You have to go to the school every day and you have to do the homework also. How many of you like doing the homework and the study? Some people may like it very much, some people may not like it very much, some people feel it interesting, some people may feel it boring. So again, it is a cycle, goes on cycle like that also, the happiness and sorrow like that. Suppose after you complete your basic study, you have to go to the college and procure the degree and procure the higher studies also. If you go through all the studies and everything, again you have to go for the either your own business or into the service. Then there is a tension of making the money. Then again, after suppose you get the married and you have your own children or something like this cycle is going on. But what is at the end of the life? Suppose you have made a lot of money, you have made a lot of degrees also, you have made a lot of education also, you have made everything into your own life, you have gone here and there, you have enjoyed this world and everything. But again, when the old age comes, you are sick, you are old, you have to lie down on the bed. You sometimes, even some people cannot do their own personal work with their hands only. They also have to take the help of the other person. So this is a actually old age is going on. Then you become the very very sick, and one day you become die. So whatever you have procured in your life, whatever you have earned in your life, whatever you have made in your life, everything you have to live over here only, and you just make an exit from this world. So when you enter this world, did all these exercises with lot of pain, lot of trouble, lot of sacrifice and everything. But what is the result at the end of the day when you die? You leave everything and all the thing here and there only. You are not able to take even single pin or a single pen or a single paisa with you. So what is the use of all this? Why are we taking all this pain? What is all this trouble actually? So this is about, again, you are going into the next life because you have not obtained the liberation. I will make you understand the liberation later on. But yesterday someone asked me when the soul do not get the rebirth again. So that is the stage of the liberation when you do not get the rebirth. But most of the people are not liberated. Again, they have to come into this world, passes through the same cycle. So it is like a bondage. So this entire world is like a jail actually, and we are living in this as a prisoner. So this is the bondage. So am I able to make it clear to all of you that what is the bondage in life? Because this is a children class, so I have to make you understand in your language. You can write yes or no in the chat box if you have got understand or not, that what is the bondage. I think I'm getting majority of the yes. So I take it granted that now you understand the meaning of the word bondage. So this is the actually meaning of the bondage. We come into this life, we take a lot of pain and trouble and everything, but ultimately at the end of the day, we have to go empty hand and again re-enter into the cycle of birth and death again. So this is a bondage. So when we do any work with a purpose or with a mission or with a goal to the sacrifice to the Lord Krishna, then we are liberated. Then we are not passing through this bondage cycle, passing through the cycle of birth and death. And that is the main thing, that whatever the action we perform, it has to be done as a sacrifice to the Vishnu. Suppose you are nowadays, you are learning, you are all the students from class 1 to class 6, 7 or 8, whatever it is, whatever the study you are performing, you have to do it that you are doing the action on behalf of the karma, for the Lord Krishna and by the Lord Krishna. You have to devote yourself to the Lord Krishna and perform whatever the action you are doing. Forget about the result. whatever I will get. I have to just do my action. I have to do the study. I have to do my hard work. Just forget about the result and everything. And that is all my efforts and all my labor and all my study is dedicated to Lord Krishna. So this is called a work for to be done as a sacrifice to the Lord Krishna. Am I able to clear this first line also now? Because I've gone in the reverse order. First, I explained you the bondage, then I'm coming to the work, and then I'm going to the sacrifice for the Vishnu. Is this clear? Okay, again, I'm getting yes. So if you are not clear, then please tell me. I will explain because this is very important slok. Okay, yes, very good. So now let us go forward. So ultimate essence of this is that whatever the work we perform, we have to dedicate with the full devotion to the Lord Krishna and forget about all the results. If we just do this, then the second line is automatic. It comes automatic as a virtue of the first line. When we perform all the work by doing as a sacrifice to the Lord Krishna, we are free from this world. We are not entering into the bondage again. So it is the result given by the Lord Krishna himself to us. Many of you might be aware about the Yuga, that is a Satyuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga and Kali Yuga. Right now we are in the Kali Yuga. What in the Satyuga people used to do? How do they sacrifice their work to the Lord Krishna? By doing the deep meditation, by living alone, by living separated from the world and having a deep meditation with day in and day out and sometimes for years and years. They just realize that see the God himself within their heart actually. As I told you in earlier side also, that when we attain the highest level of the spirituality, then we can see the God inside our heart only. We can play with them. We can visualize that God. Then came the Treta Yuga. Treta Yuga, what the people used to do? They used to organize various types of yagna, various type of sacrifices. This is yagna is carried out with the help of the fire and other so many materials. There are so many different kinds of the yagna in our Sanatan Dharma culture. So by performing the different yagna, they used to get the benefit out of that. The Lord Krishna originates out of that yagna and give the desired gift to the performer of the yagna. In this picture also you can see these two king and his wife are performing this particular yagna, and the God has originated by and became happy by performing this yagna and giving some gift to the king and his wife. I hope are you able to see. And these are all the priest and everyone who are helping this king and his wife for the performance of the yagna. Then came the Dwapar Yuga. In the Dwapar Yuga, what the most people used to do, instead of doing the meditation, instead of doing the yagna, they used to go to the temples and gather in crowds actually, in numbers actually, and just worship the God, worship the Lord Krishna. So this the people used to do in the Dwapar Yuga. That is why you can see many of our ancient temples have been constructed during that period of the time, which are belonging to the Dwapar Yuga, so many years before. And it is still, we are preserving those temples as our heritage. Then came the Kali Yuga. And what you can see over here in the Kali Yuga, the people that here, that particular boy is chanting the mantra with the Japamala and his mala in his hand. So in the Kali Yuga, how we can do the yagna, the sacrifice to the God, by chanting of the mala, chanting and doing the japa. So all of you understand? So what options we have left now is that we have to chant japa and mala. We have to do at least one round of the mala daily. And what mantra we have to chant? Chetan Prabhuji, can we unmute everyone and have this round of mantra by everyone all together?
Okay, Prabhuji. Okay.
Yes. So Chetan Prabhuji is unmuting everyone. So everyone chant this mantra together.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Okay, everyone. Please unmute all.
Shall I mute them, Prabhu?
Muted, sir. Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
So how many of you chant this mantra every day? Please raise your hands. 16, 17, okay. Yes, there are 111 participants now, and I am getting the raised hands up to from 35, 36. Okay. Okay, let's now take the other round. So those who are not chanting this japa, how many of you are committing the promise to me from now onward that they will japa this chant mantra or one round of mala every day from tomorrow or today onward? How many of you will do that? Please raise your hand now next time. Those who are not doing and will start doing, only raise the hands. Okay, I'm getting around 43, 44 reply. 43, 44. So something 36 people replied me previous time. So it is 45 plus, let us say 35 and 45. So it is altogether 80. Still 31 people left who are yet to decide. They are neither chanting nor have decided to chant their one round. So I want a promise from everyone, all of you, to at least chant one round of mala from today onward or from tomorrow. So in the next class, I will ask those who have yet to decide, take your time for the whole day. Tomorrow I will ask them whether they have decided or not and whether they have started or not. Okay, good. Those who are chanting more than one times, that is also very good. But I want at least one time, one day. And that is from all the participants. Okay, so tomorrow we will have a question on this. So now, who will read this? I can see Akshay. Akshay Prabhuji, can you read this? Akshay Prabhuji. Okay, you are unmuted. Please read. Yes, please read.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasavi Gaur Bhakti Vrinda.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Krishna. So as I said you in the earlier slide that this is your homework. You have to chant at least one round of mala with this japa every day. Those who are chanting more than one round, maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 round, it is very good. But those who are not yet started, please start it from the today or tomorrow. Okay. Now, here it is as a guide to you, all of you, that how to chant this mala. Suppose you have got a mala in your hand, this type of mala. It has contains the 108 beads, 108 beads in that mala. And you have to hold the mala in this manner, in between your thumb and the second finger. You have to hold this mala and round it from in this manner, in this light. So this will be your position, and every time you just chant one round, that one time, that is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. After completing things, just move these beads and take the another bead. Again chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Again turn this bead, go to this bead. In this way, have a one round of this mala. It contains 108 beads, as I said earlier. Okay. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna himself, came 5 years back in Kali Yuga to spread Hare Krishna mantra. So from where did we get this mantra in the Kali Yuga? From Chaitanya Mahaprabhuji. He came about 500 years back into this world as a Lord, as the avatar of Lord Krishna, to spread the message about the mantra and about the Lord. So now the question you may come in your mind that where to japa the mantra, or where to have this one round of mala. You can have a one round of mala or japa mantra in your house, sitting with your family also, or sitting alone also, whenever you find your time from your schools and everything, before going to school or after coming to school, before sleeping, or after having the food also, you can japa mala and one round of mala. Even on the streets also, suppose you are going or walking on the street, going to school, it is say it is on walking distance. Nowadays your school might have been closed because of the COVID and all, but once it reopens, suppose from your home and school is very nearby, you are walking on the road, you can have also chanting the japa into your mind. Go on chanting and keep on walking. That will also give you happiness and pleasure. And of course, when you are alone, suppose when you are free, you have done your homework also, you have done your food also, you have taken your good sleep also, and now devote some special time just to chant the mala as this particular boy as is in his hand, and have a one round of mala, okay, when alone, so that you can start meditating also. And of course, with all the members in the family. That is why it is said, a family that prays together, lives together, a family that eats together, stays together. So with the family, with the entire family, say on a weekend, Saturday or Sunday, you can have a one more round of mala, which can have a chanting of a mantra with your entire family also. That is also very good exercise. Who will read this? Kaushik, can you read that? You are unmuted.
Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama Via Iva Kevalam Kalau Nasti Eva Nasti Eva Gatira Anayata.
Very good. Thank you, Kaushik Prabhuji. So you can read this also. For spiritual progress in this age of Kali, as I said, it is Kali Yuga. Kali means Kali and Yug means age. We are in the age of Kali. There is no alternative. There is no alternative. There is no alternative to the holy name, the holy name, the holy name of the Lord. So in this world, If you want to attain the Lord Krishna, if you want to attain the highest level of the spirituality, there is no alternative except to chant the mantra as said. Is this clear? That is why I am telling that all of you should start at least one mala chanting the mantra at least one time in a day. Now, who will read this sloka 14 of the chapter 3? Reet Agarwal. Okay, I am unmuting you. Please read it.
आनंद भावन्ति भूतली पर जानन्ति अनासंभवायाजन भवाति पर जान्यो यजना कर्मा समूहवा.
Thank you, Reet Mataji. You can read the translation also. Okay. All living bodies subsist on food grains. So we all are living bodies. And wow, how we carry on our life by taking the food day to day, which are produced from rains. And how this food is produced? Food is produced on the agricultural field and agriculture because of the rains and other fertilizers. And how this rain comes? Rains are produced by the performance of the yagna sacrifice. That means in the ancient time, as you say, in the Treta Yuga, people used to perform the different types of the yagna for achievement of the different things. And one of the yagna was performed to get the result of rain. In that point of time, when rain is also considered as a god. Nowadays also it is considered as god, but people has giving less importance to all such yagna and everything, because we are living in the Kali Yuga. And when the yagna is born out of the prescribed duties. What is the prescribed duties? That is the chanting of the and performing the yagna during that particular time. What is the prescribed duties? You can better understand by seeing this picture. What the people used to do, people used to read, when a very religious person, there you have the knowledge of all the 4 Vedas. You can see Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda and Atharva Veda. People are very religious. They are thoroughly honest people. They are thoroughly good people and doing the good actions. They have the thorough knowledge of the religious scriptures also. They used to read the religious scriptures also. And by getting the knowledge from these religious scriptures, they used to perform the yagna over here. And by performing the yagna, as because you can understand it is a scientific process. By yagna, the cloud is formed in the sky, and the cloud gets cooled, and after getting it cool and gathering moisture from the air, it comes down and it pours down in the form of rain on the earth. And this rain is very important for the production of the food. You can see the different types of vegetables, grains, fruits and everything over here in this slide. And by virtue of this rain, this food is produced, and we are consuming this fruit, this food and fruit also in our day-to-day food, in day-to-day nutrition. And when we get this nutrition, we get all this food, we run our life. Without getting the food, we cannot run our life. That is why it is called the 3 basic necessities. That is one is a food, shelter and a cloth. These are the 3 important things that are needed for the man's survival. And the first and the prime importance is that of the food. Can you survive without the food? No one can survive without the food. Definitely everyone needs the food. So this is the basic duty. So actually in this world, what the previous sloka is that says that all living bodies subsist on food grains. On these food grains, which are produced from the rains also here also, as you can see, from the rains, food grain is produced. It might be coming in your study also in geography, different types of the soil, different types of the food, what type of rain. Suppose for the production of the tea, such type of centimeter rain is required, such type of soil is required, like that. And rains are produced by the sacrifice, and the yagna is born by the prescribed duties. Here the prescribed duty is to be religious. So in the today's world, what is meant by the prescribed duties? Prescribed duty in the today's world, we can take it in the other sense also. That means giving back to the society. Whatever we are consuming out of the society and the nature, we have to give it back to the nature. Nowadays, many of the problems in our day-to-day life is coming because of the we are extracting from the nature too much and not giving back to the nature. Nowadays, the forests are cut and the big buildings are constructed. Even the buildings are constructed by covering the sea also. So we are just extracting and extracting from the soil. Even we are underground also, we have explored. Underground metro is coming up. So underground it is for the gatherment of the soil and gatherment of the moisture and the rainwater for harvesting. It is for that. But for that again, we are utilizing it for some other purpose. We are doing it totally. Metro railways coming underground, going thousands and thousands feet under the ground. So by this nature, we have explored the nature, exploited the nature so many ways that actually the Kali Yuga is going on and we are not giving back to the society. And that is why this result we are facing nowadays. It is also because of our own fault only. This was not the case in the that point of time. People used to perform the yagna, people used to gather for the worshipping the Lord Krishna over here. They used to chant also, they used to do the all types of religious activities. Now who will read this? Shaurya Agarwal, please read it. Okay, I think you are unmuted, Shaurya Agarwal. Prabhuji.
करति श्रेष्ठास्तत् एवातरो जनाः सा यत् प्रमाणं कुरुते लोकस्तोद अनुवर्तते. Translation: whatever common men follow.
Yes. So it is very simple to understand. Whatever action a great man performs, common men follow. Even in your life also, you might have understand. Suppose you have got a school monitor, a class monitor. Whatever the class monitor says you have to perform that. Whatever the teacher or the school master or headmaster tells you, you have to perform that. But when we perform that, when that particular person is also doing that exercise, then only we perform that. Otherwise, do not perform that. That we can understand from the next slide. This is the general slide. Suppose this duck is walking on the ground and these are all his or her children, and they are used to follow that particular duck also. Here also a mother is walking on the road by holding her hand with her daughter. She is telling that to daughter to walk with her. So that particular daughter is also walking with her mother. So both are doing more or less the same exercises. It is the only difference of the age and other thing, that is where they are called a follower and they are called the leader. But again also, suppose you have got this type of the leader in your class or whatever it is, and this type of the followers. Will this type of the followers follow this type of leader? Definitely not. Because what this leader is saying that please do not smoke, and what he himself is doing, he is smoking. So what the follower do? Follower will laugh at him rather. What they will tell, what he is doing is not telling. What he is saying is different, what he is doing is different. So what the people will say, we will do what you do. That means if you are smoking, we will also smoke. Not what you say. That means what you are saying, that is incorrect. It is not in actual. It is not implemented. It is not practiced by you only. Then how can we follow you? So the lesson from here is that the followers also are not full. They are also following the right person only. Just like the Arjuna was following the Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna was giving the right education, right teaching to the Arjuna. That is why the Arjuna was following the Lord Krishna. And the Lord Krishna himself was doing whatever he was telling or teaching to Arjuna. Who will read this? Shloka 27. I want new one. Please raise your hand. Okay, Arna Bharadwaj. Please unmute Arna Bharadwaj. You can read. You are unmuted.
Yes, Prabhuji. प्रकृते क्रियमाणानि गुणैः कर्माणि सर्वशः अहंकार विमुक्तात्मा कर्तामहम् इति मन्यते.
Thank you, Mataji. So what is the translation? You can read translation also. Okay. The spirit soul, bewildered by the influence of false ego, thinks himself the doer of activities that are in actuality carried out by the three modes of the material nature. This particular slok may be difficult for some of you to understand. So let me make you understand very simple language, just like as I made you understand, or rather tried to make you understand the meaning of the word bondage, a sacrifice to the Lord Krishna, and the work. So here also, what are the three modes of the material? Let us start from the back actually. Then also it will be easier to understand. Otherwise, it is very difficult. What are the three modes of the material nature? The three modes of the material nature are Sattvic, Rasi, and Tamas. That is Sattvic Guna, Rajogun, and Tamagun. Sattvic means goodness. That means the people who are very good, kind-hearted, benevolent person. Okay, they are ready to sacrifice something for the good of the others. These are all very kind people. They are very soft people. They talk also very nicely. They also behave very nicely. Then they are not rude in their behavior. They always think of the good of the others. So these are the good qualities. That is called a Sattvic Guna. And it is in English, it is called a goodness. It is sometimes we call it a he's a gem of a person. He's very kind, he's very good, he's so sweet person. So these are the goodness. And the second mode is the passion mode. That means particular type of a person who is always eager to get something out of something. Whatever he does, he wants a result. Whatever he speaks, he tries to make fool of the other people and try to make derive benefit out of that people, out of his saying. And whatever he thinks also, he always think of, okay, today I will get this, today I will get that, today I will do that, today I will do that, something. That means always in passion mode. That means his endless desire is continuously going on his mind. It is normally good, sometimes maybe bad also, but majority of the time that is always materialistic. He always thinks of the material things. Okay, I want to get this, I want to get this, I will do this, I will do that, like that. That is called a patient. That is called a rajoguna. And the third one type of the people are the, normally we call it a bad people or the demonic people. That means who are very jealousy, who are very rough, who are very become very angry also very frequently, and talk very badly, behave very badly, always try to harm other people, like that people. So this type of the people are normally called the demonic people or with a tamogun. So these people are actually, we may call it, sometimes we call it that people is, that person is not very good, I do not like him, he is such a like that person, he's a like that person, he becomes very angry, he's very rude in his behavior, something like that. So these are the three modes of the material nature. It is the nature of that particular man actually. It, the man himself is not bad, may not be bad, but his nature made him the bad actually. And the nature made him the good also, and the nature made him also the possessive or the passionatic nature also. So these are the three different modes of the person, and these three modes can be vary from time to time also. Suppose a particular person may be very rude and may be very bad in that one particular point of time, but sometimes slowly, gradually, when he realizes that okay, I'm doing this thing is wrong, now let me do some good things. So then from the bad nature, he promotes himself to something say like passion nature or to the goodness nature. So change may come into the person's mind. The modes may change it from the person from time to time also. If even sometimes a person may not be good with particular person, but definitely good with the other person also. So it is a change of the mode within the same day or within the same time, within the same situation and circumstances also, or it may change over a period of time also. Sometimes it happens with the child. When you are very kid, you are very naughty. Suppose before going to the school, you are so much naughty that everyone gets fed up of you. But just when after you gets into the school and started going to school, you yourself become less naughty and try to focus on your studies. So it is a change of nature from you also, because previously you were in bad qualities. We are not in the bad sense. not in the good sense, but in the bad sense, harming your younger brother and sisters, not believing your parents, something like that. Then when you started going to school, you become very quiet, you become a very understandable person, you started believing in your parents also, you are started take caring of your younger brother and sister also, so you have moved from the bad person to the good person, like that. So these are the three modes of the nature. Is that clear? This is also very important slok, and it is very important because these are the foundation or the base of the Gita. If you understand all these things, it will be very easy to learn the rest of the chapters. So please raise your hands. How many of you got understand about that? The three modes of the nature, material nature. Okay, very good. Now, let us understand the ego, or before understand, let us understand the doer of activities. So what happens is that whenever we perform any work or the task, immediately some feeling of I-ness, that means I, the capital letter I, is comes in our mind that okay, I have done it, I have did that, I successfully completed that, I have achieved that, I was able to complete it, I went there, I succeeded there. I every time I is coming. So we feel that whatever we have done, whatever we have achieved, whatever we have realized, whatever we have completed is because of me. That is the I comes before me actually. Even before, sometimes the me also comes later, although I and me are very similar word, but me comes later and I come first. So I is a very doer of activity. We feel that the I, that I itself is a sort of the false ego. If you understand that okay, I have done this, I am achieved this, I was able to successfully completing it, so I, whenever the I comes, that implies itself is an ego. That is the ego. So whatever, because in previous talks also what we have learned, that whatever the work we perform, we should perform it as a sacrifice to the god. We are performing, okay, this work is performed, dedicated to you, done and devoted to you, and this is completed with the blessings of you only. You should dedicate, you should devote that particular your doings or karma to the Lord Krishna. Then the feeling of the I, that means I have did this yagna, I have completed the exam, I have achieved this much marks, I am going to school regularly, I am very punctual, this I goes, this is, that is called a false ego. That means the spirit soul bewildered by the influence of false ego. That means soul doesn't like this false ego, because ultimately what who is doing? You are doing that with the influence of the supernatural power. You are nothing actually in front of that supernatural power, soul. But that false ego, that is the when I comes, ego thinks himself, that means I am doing that particular activity, comes in our mind, and that are actually carried out by, and the reason behind that I is the three modes of the material nature. So now is it clear? The first false ego, that is the I have done this, I have this, you are doing, considering yourself as the doer of that activities, and that I comes into your mind because of your material nature. Is this clear now? I hope I tried my best to make you understand. Please raise your hand if it is clear. You can type in chat box also yes or no, whatever it is. I think I'm able to make it clear to majority all of you. Okay, let us try another way. Suppose who has raised the hand and said yes can tell this in his words actually. Then who will, I will tell you, Ananya Mataji. Can you please explain this as you have raised your hand that you understood this? I'm unmuting you.
In this, I understood that the spirit soul, like we also in our body, we have soul, and that soul is just confused in the influence. It has wrong ego. everything which is done in the world is done by the superpower, which is the God, Sri Krishna. But we are not doing anything. We are just following him. We are just trying to do it. So we cannot just think that we have done all these activities, because this is all the false ego in us. Everything is carried by the three modes of material nature. That's three modes that Krishna and all that I understood from this. That we
I think you are
we are not
almost.
doing anything. We are not doing anything. The superpower is doing, and the three modes of material nature are doing.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. I think you are almost 70% through what you understood. It is almost correct, 70%, to the extent of the 70% you have understood, I would say. Anyone would like to try? Among the participants who have raised the hands or who said yes. Or we can move forward. Okay, Yogesh Prabhuji. Yogesh Prabhuji, please go ahead. Please. Chetan Prabhuji, please unmute Yogesh Prabhuji.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Yes, Yogesh Prabhuji, go ahead.
Okay. So we understand that we don't have to say always I, because by saying I like that, we say that I made it to do, I do the sacrifice, I get the result. So from that we get our false ego. So we don't have to do that, because we are doing it by the help of the great power which was Lord Krishna, and we are not only 1% of the energy of Lord Krishna.
Okay, thank you, Yogesh Prabhuji. More or less, you have also understood. But okay, slowly, gradually, I am not expecting that deep study and this also from all of you, because you are also very small now. But it's okay. Whatever you understood, it is the right understanding. Now, this slide will make it more clear to you. I am always, you see the letter is starting from the I. I am always right. What this person is saying, pointing a finger to someone, shouting with his mouth and saying that I am always right. And what this kid is doing, don't teach me. What is the attitude over here of this particular person? You can see from the words and the facial expressions, it's a wrong attitude to ahankar. That means he is feeling so much proud in himself that he is telling that I am always right to this particular person, and this particular person is don't caring about that particular person. He is also rudely saying that don't teach me. So whenever there is an ahankar comes or the ego comes in our mind, and we are telling someone to do that particular thing, actually, the other person will never understand that and will never hear also, do not care to hear about that particular person, because that particular person is speaking out of his ego sense, ahankar. So rather we should always avoid this word I, and one has to be very much polite in his sayings. I think we have covered what are prescribed dharma in the 4 U's. Satyug meditation, Treta Yuga yagna, the Dwapar Yuga, visiting the temples and worshipping, and the 4th Kali Yuga, the chanting of the Japamala. So this you have got in your activity. Satyuga meditation, the fire sacrifice, temple, same thing almost we have covered. And now the last slide of today, that is a takeaway message. So I think Many of you have promised me that they will chant at least one round of mala from today or from tomorrow onward. And I want them to be all the best of luck in their efforts. And those who have not yet decided, I earnestly request, humbly request to all of them. And with the blessings of the God, I also request that all of you should actually start at least chanting one round of mala from tomorrow. That is also my humble request, and I do that humbly with a sacrifice to the God himself. I am not telling out of any of my ego sense that please do that or do that, chant one round of mala. Because what we have learned is today that we should not do anything out of our own ego sense. And we should never feel that I am ordering you or I am requesting you. With the blessings of the God, I am requesting you that I please do that. So I am devoting my these sayings with the order of the Lord Krishna, which is passed on to me, I am passing on to you. So is this clear? Now we'll have a question answer session. Today's questions will be very limited, maybe 5 or 6 questions only. So let us go immediately, first by first, one by one. Chetan Prabhuji, will you manage the questions? I will answer.
Oh, okay, Prabhuji. Means, shall I unmute, Prabhuji? Shall we?
Yeah, you can unmute anyone. Yeah.
Okay. Hare Krishna, Leela Rani Mataji, unmute yourself.
Please go ahead, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Arna Bharadwaj. Okay. Okay, Prabhuji. It seems Arshit Prasad. Right, Prabhuji.
No questions? All of you got a good understanding?
No, Prabhuji, some are raising hand.
Okay.
Hitansh Mathur, you can ask your doubt.
Yeah, so what is a Japamala?
Japamala is a mala actually with 108 beads, and we have to chant. It is actually you can take in the sense of the counting. If suppose we cannot count 108 times while chanting the mantra. So mala acts as an instrument that if we chant one time, we just cross one bead. If we chant it second time, we just cross the second bead. And at the full round of completion of the full round of mala, there you will find a big bead is there. And we should not cross that particular bead. We just have to unfold it in the other way and continue the other round of the mala. So it is just a counting machine, you can say. Nowadays, many times you can see in the mall gate or some person is handing a machine in his hand. Whenever a person enters the mall, he just clicks it. Another person and he just clicks it. So it gives a counting that how many persons have visited a particular mall during particular time. So similarly, while chanting, it is a mala acts as a counting machine for us. And of
Hare
course,
Krishna, Prabhuji.
from the spiritual point of view, it is made up of tulsi beads. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Is it clear? Tulsi. Japamala.
Was one doubt.
Yes, Prabhuji, he has muted himself. Now, Ankush Pratap Singh, he wants to ask some doubt, Prabhuji.
My yesterday's doubt was not clear. I don't have any doubt in this class. I want to ask that yesterday you told us that our body is made up of soul and it is residing everywhere, but we have just given a particular place that is inside the heart. And I want to ask that whatever the deed the person is doing, whether right, whether wrong, whether good or whether bad, who regulates, whether the soul regulates or the body itself regulates that whatever the work we are doing?
Thank you, Prabhuji. Very nice question you have asked. And as you can understand from the today's learning also, that what soul is not doing anything. Soul is not performing activities what we are actually doing or performing. It is our material nature is responsible behind that doing actually. And we take it ourselves that I am doing that, I am doing that. Soul is just a spectator. It is just a witness to our activities. Is just watching from the outside or from the inside, whatever you say, whatever we are doing, is just watching actually us. And whatever we are doing is out of our own nature. Suppose you are a very good person, then you will always be involved yourself in the good activities. Suppose if you are of a passionate nature, that is rajogun, you will always run after the material things and material things like money, things, achievement, success, or whatever it is, status, fame, like that. And if you are a bad quality person, then you will always harm someone, insult someone, speak of bad language, like that. And so soul is separate from your action actually. It is doing just watching you separately. Your material nature is responsible for behind your action, behind your doing. And this out of that material nature and out of that your activity, that ego is formed. Is it
And
clear now? Soul is totally different.
Yeah, I got this thing. One more thing is I want to ask. You just told that the soul it just go in a death and birth cycle, and after some time it reaches to the heaven. You can say to the God. So what makes it reach to the God?
That also I told you in our earlier slide also, that when a man attains the highest level of the spirituality, when he is able to seize the God in the human form in his inside the heart, that means he is with all the qualities. I can make you understand with later on also. There are almost 36 qualities has been described in a particular man. If he possesses all these 36 qualities, then he is almost said to reach the highest level of the spiritualism. And at that point of time, his soul, when it dies, is automatic. Even while living also, he is living the godly life. He is as good as God actually while living also. And when that particular man dies, his soul is liberated. Rather, he is not entering into the bondage cycle of birth and death. It is liberated and goes into the heaven. Rather, it merges with the Paramatma. Atma and the Paramatma becomes one and the same single identity. And that is the highest level of the liberation. And that is called, it is a mukti. Everybody wants the mukti in this world, and that is the mukti. Otherwise, it is not a mukti. Again, it is a bondage coming from birth and death cycle.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Vedant Challa. You want to ask some doubt, Vedant?
Yes, Vedant Prabhuji.
Yes, Vedant Prabhuji.
Treta Yoga, when Krishna appears from the Agni, that is from the fire.
Okay, please repeat the question. I couldn't get you. Your voice
In
is not
Treta
clear.
Yoga, does Krishna arise from the Agni, that is the fire?
Yeah, Krishna is actually the form. It is not originated from the Agni. It is unborn. The soul itself is just taking the form of the different things in different kinds and objects, so that we can see that okay, it is coming out of the fire, but fire itself is a soul. Even the what is coming out of the fire itself is a soul, because the soul Paramatma resides everywhere. When we read the chapter 7, then you will understand that Krishna is all and everywhere, in and everywhere, even in living thing and non-living thing, even in living matter and non-living matter also. Everywhere Lord Krishna is there. So there is no question of originates. It is just a manifestation of the, you can call it the godly form. He is just manifesting himself. In the 11th and 12th chapter, when you will also, 9th and 10th chapter, that is the Vibhuti Varnan Darshan and the Virat Swarup Darshan, the Krishna himself is just manifesting in front of the Arjun and is showing his magnificent roop, the giant form. So he is always in all the objects, in all the things, living, non-living, everywhere. So there is no question of coming out of the fire or something like that. Am I clear?
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji is one Sudvik Krishna Mata. You can ask your doubt, Mataji.
Prabhuji, what is moksha, Prabhuji?
Yes, please go ahead.
What is moksha, Prabhuji?
What
What is moksha, Prabhuji?
moksha or
Moksha.
mukti or yeah, yes, yes, moksha or mukti or liberation. That I said you earlier, right now only 2-3 minutes back. Somebody asked me that when the soul is liberated. So the moksha, mukti, liberation are the one and the same word. When one attains that particular highest level of the spirituality and is able to see the God himself within him, and he himself while living also acting like a God only, then when that particular person dies, his soul is liberated and not entering into the bondage of birth and death, not re-entering into this death world. This entire world is called a death world. That is a mrityu lok. This is called. So that particular soul is liberated who has attained the highest level of the spirituality, and it merges with the Paramatma. That particular soul and Paramatma become one and the same identity. It has got no separate identity then. It is called the liberation or the mukti.
Okay, sir.
Am I clear?
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay, I can take only one last question after this.
Yes, sir. Shravya Mataji. You can ask. I have unmuted you. Hare
Please go
Krishna.
ahead,
Prabhuji,
Mataji. Like this. Yes. Sure.
Prabhuji, can you re-explain the three modes?
Three modes.
Yes,
Okay.
Prabhuji.
The last question is a big question. Again, I have to spend around 2-3 minutes more. Anyway, let me take this question also. The three modes of the nature. There are three things in English also. One is the normal, then it is better than that, then another it is called a superlative verb. So it is a good. What is the higher than that? It is a better. And what is higher than that? That is the best. So here also, what is the what that bad? What is higher than that? It is a worse. And what is higher than that? It is the worst. So similarly here also, there are the three modes of a person's nature. The highest level of mode of person's nature, that is called a goodness. That means he is full with all the good qualities which normally a man should possess as per the Paramatma. Kind-hearted, very good at speaking, thinking all the time good of all, chanting all the time of the Lord Krishna, thinking of the Lord Krishna all the time, behaving with all the person in the good manner, helping all the people. There are so many good qualities with that particular person. That is called a one nature of that particular person. We also normally sometimes say this person is a very good person. He's so kind, he's so honest, he speaks so very good, so sweet, like that. So have you understood that particular quality of the man? Goodness quality. First, let me see that if that is clear, then only I will be able to explain you the second nature out of the three modes of the nature. Is that clear? The first mode, that is a goodness. Who has asked this question?
She has unmuted it, seems.
Is that first mode clear?
Shravya.
Yes, Prabhuji, it's clear.
Is this first mode clear to you? Now coming to the second mode. Second mode is, yes, second mode is that type of the person who always seek after the material things and the other things. Okay, I will achieve this, I will do that, I will make a please of this person, I will talk to him, and out of what am I talking, I will derive that benefit. Who is always result oriented, desire oriented, and always with some expectation doing some activities. There is no feeling of, okay, give up. Okay, if I have done this good thing for him, actually, okay, forget it. That was my duty at that point of time, leave it. So that is the quality of the goodness. But the person who is suppose is doing good for the other, then one day or the other day, he will ask or expect something out of that. So that is called a patient quality. That always in all activities, in all sayings, in all his words, in all his action, he is wanting to derive some benefit out of that. That is called a patient or the rajogun. Now tell me, is this second quality, is second mode of the nature is clear to you? Who has asked this question?
Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So both the modes are clear to you?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Now let me come to the third mode. If you understood these two modes, then the third mode will be very easy to understand. The person who is just opposite to the first person. That means the first person is very kind, very honest, very good at heart, very good at speak and everything. And the other person is very rude, very rough, doing all the bad things, harming all the people, not doing anything good for the other people. Just opposite of the first category of the person is the tamagun. That is the demonic quality or the negative person or the bad people. It is very understood. If you understood the first type of the person, third type of the person is just opposite to that, just reverse of that first type of the person. And the second type of the person stands in between the first and the second, just like good, better, best, bad, worse, and worst, like that. Is it clear now? Who has asked this question, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji, it is clear.
So all the three modes are clear to you?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Okay. So can we
Prabhuji.
conclude the today's session?
Yes, okay, Prabhuji. It seems one Ira, she has raised her hand since long time. Only
Okay, I get it.
one question, Prabhuji.
Okay, one question. Yes, Ira
Yes,
Mataji.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna
I
Mataji.
that I want to ask that the soul is only seeing everything like whatever we are doing. It's not correcting us or anything.
Yes, you are right. So what is the question?
I'm just want to confirm that is the soul just seeing us doing any wrong thing or a good thing?
Yes, exactly. It is the soul is just a spectator, just a watch. Just like when you go to a cricket match. Suppose you are fond of which sport? Which sport you like to see or watch?
Like badminton.
Okay, badminton. Very good. So suppose a badminton match is going on between the two players, and you just want to go there, buy a ticket, and go to the stadium and see the match. You are sitting in your place. The match is going on. So suppose one person is playing very good and the other person is not expect up to your expectation or up to your mark. Can you do anything? The other person is doing very good beyond your expectation and the other person is not doing up to your expectation. Can you do anything? Tell me.
No.
The same duty of the soul.
Okay.
The soul is just watching everything. He is not able to do, or he is not asking a particular player, okay, why are you doing this? Because it may be good for him. Whatever he is doing out of the three modes of the nature. And whatever the other person is doing, that is also is doing out of the three modes of the nature. Soul has to just watch it. Okay, what that they are doing, let me watch it. Because ultimately, whatever the karma we are doing, we are getting the result out of that only.
Okay.
And whatever the karma we are doing is out of our own nature. So is it very clear?
Yes, sir.
Thank you,
And
Mataji.
and
Yes.
I'm having one more question. Like, if a person is doing a bad thing, so that
Mhm.
is also being with the blessing of the God.
It is not the blessings of the God actually. It is he is doing the bad things out of his own material nature, and he will get the result of the bad things in the bad form only. God is
Okay.
not there to give the blessings actually. Yeah.
Okay.
He will
So
enjoy his own karma, whether it is good or bad. Other person will enjoy his karma as per his doings.
okay. So how to correct it? How we will know that we are doing wrong?
That is again the material nature comes into the place. Suppose when whatever, let me take you the example of so you have got a younger kid in your house, younger brother or sister in your family,
No.
or elder also, elder.
Yes, I am having my cousins. My elder brother is there.
Okay, elder. Suppose one day particularly your elder brother comes to you. How old is than you? Older is than you?
4 years.
Okay, 4 year older than you. Suppose one day your brother came after from the school and he just telling you some bad language. Okay, you are not doing this. Why did you took my books and everything? And he's just slapping you and everything. So is he doing the good thing at that particular point of time?
No.
As per you, no, as per you, but it is yes as per him, because it is his material nature that is forcing him to do such thing, speaking some bad words, slapping you and everything. So he will get the result out of that. Who is the soul to stop that particular person? Nothing actually. The material nature is the forcing, guiding force behind doing that particular action by your elder brother.
Okay.
Thank you, Mataji. So you got it? Understood?
Yes.
Thank you. So can we conclude, Chetan Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So can we have one round of this mantra before everyone start from tomorrow? We all together will have at least one time.
Yes, Prabhuji. I have unmuted. Allowed them. They can unmute.
Yes. Okay. Start. I want to allow you to.
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Rama Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Rama Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Hare. Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna
Okay,
Hare
Chetan
Krishna,
Prabhuji.
Rama Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare
Krishna Prabhuji.
Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Prabhuji,
Hare
silent mode.
Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Rama Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji. I have unmuted now. We continue.
Okay. Hare Krishna to everyone. Hare Krishna for Prabhuji. Hare Krishna for Mataji. See you tomorrow. Yeah. Bye.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Chetan Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.